What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I'm here to talk to you guys about some Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I know I haven't made a ton of videos covering the game since its release. I kind of just dropped my first online video and that was it. I've been streaming the game. The story mode to me leaves a lot to be desired. I know a lot of people have been enjoying it. It's been to me, but I've been playing the game a decent amount overall. I got about 60-ish hours into it so far, which might not be a lot to some of you know what I'm saying, but I've been playing other games and stuff like that as well. But I have been enjoying it when I've been playing it for the most part. That being said, I'm here to you today because we got some information, some news, some updates to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump over to Twitter, because a few days ago, and I know I'm a little bit late to covering all this, you're probably seeing this video on Sunday, so it's the 6th, this came out on the 2nd, and the update came out on the 4th. We're gonna get into all of it, you know what I'm saying? So on the 2nd, we got this tweet from the official Bleach Rebirth of Souls Twitter account that says, "A message to our players," and this comes from Suzuki, the producer of Bleach Rebirth of Souls. "To Bleach Rebirth of Souls players, greetings, I'm Suzuki, the producer of Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Thank you very much for playing our game. In this letter, I would like to share some information about upcoming updates. We're closely monitoring and reviewing the feedback we have received from all of you. We are aiming to make adjustments and implementing features to ensure a more comfortable and enjoyable gaming experience." So, adjustments have been made. We did get a whole balance patch and update for the game, and they also said they're going to be implementing features to ensure a more comfortable and enjoyable gaming experience. Now, when it comes to features, I wouldn't say a whole lot was added in this patch, so that means that they have plans for things in the future that they haven't added yet that they're going to, not the least of which potentially being ranked match, as noted here in the next segment. One of the most requested features is ranked match, and we are currently considering its implementation. I know Keon, a member of the community, has been doing their own kind of ranked thing for the community in the meanwhile, but there's nothing quite as commendable and as respectable as that is, there's nothing quite like the game just natively having a rank feature. I don't really understand why this game didn't have it to begin with. It just seems like it's just par for the course at this point for anime games to just launch with features that should be the bare minimum. But that being said, another way of looking at it is that this low-key could have been a blessing in disguise, because with the way that the game launched, even though there's a lot of things to like about it and praise about it, there's equally a lot of things to criticize about it. One of the things being that the gameplay wasn't completely fleshed out, just in terms of there were some bugs and glitches and infinite combos and things that probably would have been exploited and abused a lot more if we had a ranked match, which just would have led to more outcry from the community and a lot of disappointment, people not really wanting to play the game because oh, I'm just getting cheesed and ranked, I'm just getting hit with unblockables and infinites and glitches, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, on one hand, it's really we have to ask for a rank match, that's something you have to add later, how is that even acceptable? And on the other hand, it's well, maybe it was for the best, who knows? However, before we can implement this feature, we feel it is necessary to further refine the overall game environment, including character balance and competitive play. We are planning an initial round of adjustments and an update scheduled in April 4th, which was yesterday as of this recording, and 2 days ago by the time you're probably seeing this video. And so they did actually drop a patch that did make some decent improvements to the game, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. We will continue to make adjustments and improvements to ensure that you can enjoy Bleach Rebirth of Souls even more in the future. We greatly appreciate your continued support. Bleach Rebirth of Souls producer Katsuaki Suzuki. So, it is cool that they are making updates to the game. They do want the game to be somewhat competitive to an extent. Now, I'm not here to have the whole conversation all over again about Sparking Zero, or like we did with Sparking Zero, is the game competitive or not? I've said my piece before. This isn't a game that you're going to see on a top 8 stage at a main stage at Evo or Combo Breaker or something like that. It's not that kind of game, but competitive by nature, since it is a fighting game in some sense or capacity, right? I know there's been a lot of conversation about, is this game competitive, or is it a 3D game, or is it an arena fighter? I'm not really here to get into that conversation today, but it does seem that at the very least they want the game to be as balanced as they can make it and as fun as they can make it, and they do plan on adding more and continuing to update the game. So that's a good sign. It's been about 2 weeks since its release, and I know a lot of you guys have put in even more hours than I have. Some of you already have 100, 200 hours in the game. Like I said, I'm up about 60 so far. But they made some updates, so let's go ahead and take a look at said updates. So this is a tweet from user 3Z_OQOQ or 0Q0Q. I'm not familiar with who this person is, but they are apparently an admin on the Bleach Rebirth of Souls community on Twitter. And so they have the patch notes here for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. So let's go ahead and take a look at everything. Free update version 1.04, changes and adjustments in version 1.04. First and foremost, battle system adjustments. They reduce the amount of fighting spirit gained when a Kompaku is destroyed. Before, you used to gain a decent amount of fighting spirit when your Kompaku got destroyed. They've reduced that amount, partially probably to make it so that it was less of a strategic viability or tactic to purposely allow yourself to be to get your Kompaku destroyed in order to develop more of that spirit gauge, which, I didn't have strong feelings on the amount that you gained, but I don't mind them reducing it either. I will say though that the game definitely gets more fun the longer matches go on, but I don't like the length of which matches are in the first place, but that's just me. We'll probably get into some stuff that I do like or don't like, or things that I'd like to see get changed, added, or fixed with this game as we go through these notes. Anyway, next one is a big one. I'm sorry, not the next one, the one after that. But they also fixed an issue where the damage stun from chain reversal varied depending on the awakening stage. So basically, your reverse actions, right, from my understanding, your reverse actions, some characters, when you did like the yellow reverse action, their hit stun wasn't the same as like other characters, and they couldn't like properly follow up or combo off of it, and they fixed that. Certain characters, like when they were awakened, you couldn't really do it, and that has been fixed. Now this next one is the actual big one I was talking about. This one right here. In online matches, adjusted unintended guard unavailable frames during wake up to prevent infinite combos. This game had an issue that was very weird. I don't really know why it was the way that it was. But in online, there were infinite combos that didn't work offline. Offline, if you're playing the game versus solo, CPU battles, training mode, whatever, when you get knocked down and you wake up, you can guard immediately. That was not the case online. So you've probably experienced this for yourself, even if you didn't ever get hit with an infinite combo, which you very well may have. But if you've ever been like, yo, I was blocking, like, why did I get hit? Like, I woke up, I swear I was blocking on wake up and I got hit. Online, for whatever reason, you just could not guard immediately upon wake up. So if you've ever just gotten reset or hit with an unblockable infinite, that's why. That was a legitimate thing. That was a bug, unintended, as stated by them. And so they fixed that. So that eliminated most of the infinite combos. There might still be some here or there. Like I said, they improved things a lot, but it's not perfect. But it took out a lot of the infinite combos that were kind of rampant in the game. Then when we go to game mode adjustments, in free match, they've changed the default settings to this. They've also changed the time to 300 seconds. Default matchmaking settings are now set to no restrictions for your region/connection speed, and soul crystals and soul talismans are now off by default, which I think is for the best. I think these are probably the settings that most people are going to use anyway, although I will say that when it comes to region and connection speed, I'm going to refine mine a little bit, because while the online is better than most anime games, I would say, it's not like, you know, super robust top tier GGPO, rollback netcode, anything like that, right? So you know, the further away your opponent is, the more lag and you're gonna feel, and drop frames and input delay and everything like that. So, you know, but I think this will probably help improve matchmaking and make it a little bit easier to find games. So that's good. That's a plus. Also, when it comes to the soul crystals and soul talismans, I don't know anybody who wants to use those online. I guess it could be fun sometimes between you and your friends or whatever. But realistically, most people are not trying to use these. So those being off by default, a huge bonus. Yeah, I mean, honestly, could have just done without this system entirely, to be honest, even being in the game. Next, battle. So the technique name display from Ryatsu triggers is now turned off for all battles except NPC battles, which is good. So now you can't see when your opponent is doing like a special move, you know what I'm saying? And they also changed the system so that the countdown timer no longer pauses during reverse actions, which is good. So just, again, shortens the length of matches to some degree. And then we have a bunch of character adjustments for almost, not every, but almost every character in the game. Lots and lots of things here. I guess I'll go through every single one of them, because I haven't really gone through all this stuff in detail for myself yet, and I've been getting asked a lot by you guys what my thoughts and opinions are. I streamed a little bit of the story mode last night, and I had a lot of people coming in asking me what my thoughts were on the patch. So let's go ahead and look at it. So for Bankai Ichigo, fix an issue where dashing forward after an attack input moved too far. Fix the problem with special move branching while awakened or using Moonfang enhancement, and reduce Reishi amount during reawakening. So they fixed the problem, or I guess problem in quotes, where he could basically still hit you with a Hokugeki attack after doing a flash step follow-up. So he can no longer do that. Also, the big thing I think that's worth mentioning here is that his reawakening for Hollow Ichigo, he now takes a lot more damage or has less health. I'm not sure which one it is, but if you look at the like a side-by-side comparison of like him eating a combo before and eating a combo now, he's losing health a lot quicker. So there's that. Then we have some changes to Final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo. So fix the bug in where Reishi Technique 1 or branching failed under specific conditions. Change his unique technique so that some actions become unusable after hitting. Increase fighting spirit gained by the opponent when hit. Increase the fighting spirit required for spirit drive and soul destruction sublimation. And greatly increase fighting spirit given to the opponent on soul destruction technique hit. So some nerfs to Final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo, where basically he's gaining spirit drive fast or slower, his opponent's gaining it faster, and the amount of spirit fighting spirit that you gain when you get hit by one of his Kikon moves is significantly more than it was before. So all right. Then we have Ishida. Follow-up steps can now connect into combos after Breaker Fist. Reishi technique number 2, when he's reawakened, adjusted hit detection to prevent multiple hits. Certain combos can now connect during spirit concentration state, and follow-up steps now correctly branch with specific inputs. So it's looking like a lot of these things are going to end up being bug fixes for characters, which is welcome. There are some general like actual, you know, balancing changes in terms of like strengthening or weakening characters. Also when it comes to Ishida specifically, his special move that was basically like a one-shot kill no longer does that. So there we have that. With Yoruichi, they just adjusted behavior against certain characters when Breaker Fist hits. Some more of a bug fix than anything. Renji, his awakening no longer fully recovers, now carries over by percentage. And adjusted behavior during transition to weakened state. So he's not going to heal full health anymore when he enters his Bankai. With Rukia, unique technique can now be canceled into follow-up step. Couldn't do that before. Increased damage during awakening, she could probably use it. Adjusted charge attack stun to prevent repeated hits. A bit of a nerf to her, so she can't link that multiple times like she could before. And adjusted guard gauge damage for some actions. Then we move on to Izuru. Fixed branching issue and unique technique for specific inputs. His charge unique technique now allows guarding upon recovery against certain characters. Then you have Ikaku, so his follow-up steps now properly hit certain characters. Again, a lot of bug fixes here. Increased damage of counter derived from Reishi Technique 2 during unique technique with Reishi Technique 1 effective, with Reishi Technique 1 effect active. And fixed unintended cancel timing on Reishi Technique 1. Jean Rusei, or Gen Ryusai. I heard it pronounced as Jean Rusei so much. I'm pretty sure he's Japanese. It's Gen Ryusai. Yamamoto. Let's just call him Yamamoto, right? Easier. Fixed issue where second hit of unique technique wouldn't activate during Inferno state. Fixed branching error when guarding special flash step. Adjusted stun differences on hit and guard, and fixed Reishi Technique 2's hitbox disappearing under certain conditions. So this one's a big one. Adjusted stun differences on hit and guard. So you know before how you could just hold his special flash technique on block and just make your opponent just block it for forever. Also, you know how that move is like plus on block? Yeah, so that's not really the case anymore. You can't just do that for forever. And also it's no longer plus. Don't know why it was in the first place. We guess it was unintended. But yeah, so those are the big changes to Yamamoto. Then we have Aizen. So increased damage of flash step when Hogyokyu fusion level rises. So we're buffing Aizen. Okay, I think a lot of people would already have considered Aizen one of the strongest characters in the game, but sure. Fixed Reishi Technique 1 reawaken not hitting some characters, bug fix. Fixed branching error and unique technique across multiple phases of Hogyokyu Fusion. Shorten the time to enter Hogyokyu Fusion Phase 2, and reduce fighting spirit needed to reach awakening from... Why? I don't know about y'all, but I felt like he already got to these forms a little too fast. He was already really good. They made him better. Wow. Okay, so more damage and gets through his phases even faster. If you're playing a low damage character, I don't know how you ever beat him. Frankly, I don't know how you ever beat him playing anyone now. Is Aizen just the best character in the game now? Like, yo, son, what? Hey, okay, a lot of bug fixes here, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we buffed one of the best characters. Oh, okay, you know, it's Aizen. I guess he's supposed to be one of the best, but damn. Byakukuchiki, unique technique can no longer branch from quick or flash steps, so you can't use his signature skill to combo after his quick attacks and his flash attacks. Fixed issue where flash step wouldn't transition into pursuit, and adjusted flash step to properly align position with opponent when height difference is present. Then with Komamura, awakening Reishi now carries over as a percentage, no longer fully recovers, so same thing as Renji. Adjusted behavior during weakened transition. Kaname Tozen, fixed Reishi Technique 2, counter not branching properly in some situations, and allowed immediate follow-up action after specific moves. Mayuri, fixed unintentional cancel timing and flash step branches. Fixed Reishi Technique 2, failing to hit low Reishi opponents, and fixed Soul Destruction Technique 1, initial stage not hitting properly in some cases, and adjusted combo scaling and follow-up steps. So I guess this means that he's not going to have his infinite block strings anymore, because he had, you know, plus on block moves and he's just had infinite block strings. And then adjusted combo scaling and follow-up steps. So I don't know if his damage was like glitched or broken or something. I actually am not familiar with what was wrong here. But yeah, that's Mayuri. And then Shiba, fixed unique technique branching with specific inputs and adjusted charge time during special flash step in water enhanced state. Shinji, fixed counter follow-up failing to connect after counter specific opponent techniques, adjusted position when deflecting breaker fist, and adjusted combos to connect properly against specific characters. Then we have Stark, who is another one of the best characters in the game. Fixes infinite combo issue during quick step. Okay, good. Fixed special flash step branching with certain inputs. Adjusted position during breaker fist deflect. Fixed damage drop during Reishi Technique 2 activation while in quick step. Fixed combo issues during flash step. Fixed issue where blue flame wolf stock was not consumed despite availability under certain conditions. Fix flash that. Fix compilations. I'm not seeing a mention here of his like unblockable that he has. That certainly has to be a bug. His unblockable like key cone move or whatever. Unless I'm missing something. So he definitely got some adjustments, but unless they just fix that without saying it, but yeah, that's something that they're probably still gonna have to take a look at. Then we have Hottie Bell, fix aura gauge not increasing from certain actions, increase invisibility time in Reishi Technique 2, and increase guard stun duration for a quick step during unique enhancement. Yeah, so Hottie Bell actually has a bug, or had a bug, I guess, where during just her quick step block string, you could just mash during her string. Like there's this big enough gap for you to just mash through it during her unique enhancement, and it just, yeah, so I guess that won't be the case anymore. Then we have Nell. Fix soul destruction technique 1 initial phase not hitting properly online. Fix branching failure and follow-up step with certain inputs. And fix Reishi technique 2 awaken not branching properly. Other adjustments made were adjusted animation and behavior of some battle actions and improved overall usability and system stability. So that is everything. There are definitely some characters that were left out, such as my main in Soy Phone. She didn't really get any adjustments, no buffs, no nerfs, no bug fixes or anything like that. Frankly speaking, I don't really know if she has any bugs or glitches that I don't know about, you know what I'm saying? Well, I guess I wouldn't know if I don't know, right? But yeah, I don't know if she has anything that's in existence that needs to be fixed. I know she's a pretty low damage character until she gets, you know, that spear drive up, but that is that. Overall, I would say very good patch, definitely healthy for the game. Lots of things were fixed that needed to be fixed. Certain things were addressed, but this game still leaves a lot unaddressed. I feel like that needs to be rectified, implemented, fixed, added, whatever the case. So ranked matches, I've already mentioned, we can probably say that that's coming at some point. When, we don't know, but it looks like that is something that they are looking to implement. Not very confident wording with their statement where they say we are currently considering its implementation. It's not very concrete. I would say it's not very confident sounding, but it does seem likely that it would get added. And then when it just comes to the online in general, like player lobbies need to be significantly larger. I think it is completely and totally unacceptable that the lobbies are limited to 2 players each. You should be able to have a lobby with bare minimum 4, but realistically like 8 players. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, I shouldn't even say 4. We shouldn't even settle for that. It should be 8 players. We need at least 8 player lobbies minimum, in my opinion. I was kind of giving some leeway at 4, but no, that's not acceptable either. Because when Storm 4 came out that first time around and we had Endless, it was 4 player lobbies. We didn't know, that wasn't cool. So 8 player lobbies minimum. You need to be able to spectate. Like these are what is the word I'm looking for? These are non-negotiables. These are non-negotiables. We need rank match. We need bigger lobbies. We need the ability to spectate matches. If you want this game to have any sort of longevity or respect put on the game, these are non-negotiable implementations that absolutely need to happen. Also, I have some things that I would like to see change when it comes to the actual gameplay of this game. I don't know if you guys would be interested in having me do a separate video talking about stuff like that, but I just kind of wish matches were faster. It just kind of feels like matches going for too long. So just for an example, right? I don't know how you guys feel. And you guys, I'd actually very much like to hear this and see your guys' comments in the comments down below. Do you think matches take too long in this game? For reference, right? I personally do think that they take too long in this game, and I think the matches get more fun as they go along, but I wish that you got to the more fun part of the game sooner, because the gameplay is interesting, it is fun, I do enjoy it, but it's a little bit boring and slow at the start, in my opinion. In a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? A single match of Bleach Rebirth of Souls, in my experience, can take 5, 6, 7 minutes, right? Can take about that long. That is the same length as a match of Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is a game, by the way, that is a 3v3 team fighting game where you have 3 characters that each have their own individual health bars. On top of that, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a game that is notorious, infamous for being a game that takes forever, for being a very long game. And that's even as far as team games go. So for this to be a 1v1 game and fighters to be 3v3, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should probably be at a much faster pace than what we currently are. And if you compare it to a game like Tekken 8, a single game of Tekken can go by in like 2 minutes. And that's a game that takes 3 rounds. For reference, again, like I looked at some other matches. I was watching matches of Tekken that went to like final rounds. So like both players win 2 rounds and then it goes to the final 5th round. That could take like 3 minutes. So it's half the time of a single 1v1, like 1 round game of Rebirth of Souls. In my opinion, that's kind of inexcusable. Like You might not mind it. I do. I think the game would be a lot more fun if it was a little bit faster paced. I just feel like certain things just take up too much time with the cinematics and just how slow you build meter in this game and everything like that. I just think it'd be more interesting if things were a little bit faster. But that's just me. That's me. I have a whole bunch of thoughts like that and like things that I would change or implement. You guys let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in hearing me talk about. You may agree with that, you may disagree with that. Maybe you think it's perfectly fine as is and you don't want any adjustments. And I don't know how realistic it is for the game to increase in pace, if it'll make those types of adjustments or listen to any suggestions that I have, but it might make for interesting content regardless. But you guys let me know your thoughts on all this in the comment section down below. Overall, I think the patch is good. It's a step in the right direction for the game, but we need more. We certainly need more. They get a pat on the back for this. W support, and let's keep it going. Let's keep pushing for more improvements, more implementations, more modes, more content, everything like that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing could happen to you swing the bat. Later.